Alright, so sorry that the quality of this video isn't that great. The camera that I usually use, that broke last night, and I'm now using my backup camera, which is my old Flip Ultra HD, which is what I used to use for my YouTube videos back in the day. I have ordered a replacement camera on eBay, so I should be getting that in the next few days. But anyway, I thought I'd talk about the puzzles that I've been playing with recently, or that I'm currently playing with actually. So first off is the circle 3x3 and circle Megaminx. So all of the inner circles just stay where they are when you turn the outside of the face on every single face. So the 3x3, it's quite easy, to be honest. I think most people who know how to solve the 3x3 would be able to figure out how to solve this without any help. It's not that difficult at all, really. Same goes for the circle Megaminx. It's every face. I don't know whether you call them one faces or zero faces, but the inner circles just stay where they are. And again, it's not that difficult to figure out how to solve, to be honest. So I think most people who can solve the Megaminx would be able to figure out how to solve this one. Then we come to the Bermuda Minx, Uranus. I can solve this. I've solved this before. The last time I solved it was quite a long time ago, so I've just started solving it recently, and you can see what I've done so far. And even just doing this, it's really difficult. You know, you try to put a piece into place, but you won't be able to turn the face because it's, let's see, so for example, like say I wanted to turn this face, I can't because this bit is bandaging it. So try to turn this bit so it's out of the way so I can turn this bit, but then this bit, it's stuck by bandaging on the other face and so on. So it's kind of like a chain reaction of bandaging. So you've kind of got to go all the way around the puzzle and start kind of unlocking faces, and then when you get back to where you were, you've lost track of exactly what your plan was. So it's pretty damn difficult, but I can actually solve it. I know that in the past I did try to solve it by starting off on the white face, and I couldn't. It was too difficult that way. So I ended up starting off on the red face and finished on the orange face, and I was able to solve it that way. So next up are all of the square puzzles, I guess you'd call them. We've got loads of square ones here. We've got, let's see, we've got these two limited edition MF8 square ones, one in version ones as well, one in green, one in red. So basically the square one is one of my all-time favourite puzzles, but I've not solved one for a few years now, and so trying to solve one again, I had forgotten everything. And so I had a look at the guide that I wrote myself, a tutorial that I wrote myself on how to solve the square one, and I had forgotten what the notations meant. But with some trial and error I ended up figuring out what the notations meant. So I can solve the square one again, but I do need to use this tutorial because I've not memorised all of the algorithms yet. So I've managed to memorise one of the algorithms so far, but there's still a few more algorithms that I need to memorise. Then I'll be able to solve the square one again without having to use a tutorial. So like I said, we've got the MF8 V1 square ones. We have got the MF8 square one version 2. This is another MF8 square one. I think this is the version 3. Got a Gugia one with the MF8 square one version 2 stickers on it. We've got, I think this is a Chi one, stickerless. A Calvin's one, really nice and fast this one. In fact I had to use some gummy lube to slow it down. And then we've got this one, I think it's YJ or Moyu. Not that keen on this one, it did tend to pop a lot, so I have tightened the tensions on it. But I've not used it enough to know whether it's not going to pop anymore. Now that I've tightened the tensions, it may still pop, I'm not really sure, but yeah, it just doesn't really, you know, its performance, it just doesn't really feel that enjoyable to solve, to be honest. And then we have these some variants. We've got this modification that I made, square one 2-layer puck. You know, I knew when I attempted to solve this, I knew I wasn't going to. I think I've attempted to solve it in the past, and I just can't really fix all of these colours going around the outside. But last night I thought, why not just try and at least just try and solve the white face and the yellow face. And I thought it was going to be quite difficult, but it was actually really, really easy. And this is a modification that I made. I made this from a 2-layer QJ square one and some pieces from an MF8 4-layer square one. Put them together and I came up with this, and it does actually turn quite well as well. Do need to have things lined up before you can make this kind of a turn. Let's see. The QJ 2-layer square one, I think you call it super square one. Yeah, I found it quite difficult to solve, to be honest, because one of the algorithms that you use on a regular square one, when you try to do it on this one, the puzzle ends up in such a state that you can't actually do the next notation in the algorithm, because things kind of don't really line up properly, and it's impossible to get things to line up well enough so it will turn. So I'm not really sure how we used to solve this in the past. And yeah, this is quite interesting actually, because when you put all of the edges onto one face, so let's try and do that now. So with this, it's just a lot more difficult trying to get things to line up, because it's like things don't properly line up. You can see this line, it's not really matching with this one, but when I move it to match with this one, now it's kind of, now the line isn't matching up with this one. So I think it's because of that why I was having trouble with performing that algorithm, but looks like I'm going to be able to turn it now, even though you can see things aren't really lined up. You can see this line here and then that line there. Well, I'm going to turn it anyway. And yeah, that's the interesting thing about this. It's like you've got this pressure now kind of pushing the middle bit apart in the middle, as you can see there. That's how all of these 2-layer QJ square ones are. So it kind of feels as though it could end up breaking from kind of doing this kind of thing with it, but I don't know, I think it's got like a spring in there or whatever. I've done this loads of times and it's not broken, so yeah. Not really great quality by QJ there. Everything's just kind of loose. And I've been trying to solve the square equal, which is a 3D printed square one variant, which I've been finding very, very difficult, even just getting it back to cubic shape. But yeah, so these are the puzzles that I've been playing with recently. The circle Megaminx, circle 3x3, the I've forgotten the name again, what is it, Bermuda Minx Venus, MF8 V1 square ones, MF8 V2 square one, MF8 I think V3 square one, Gugia square one, whoops, Calvin square one, Chi square one, YJ or Moyu square one. Oops, these aren't even, these ones at the bottom, they're not even on camera. Square equals 3D printed, QJ 2-layer, square one, super square one, whatever, and a 2-layer square one puck that I made myself. Thanks for watching.